Am I the a-hole for not letting my ex move in, which could cost her custody? Alternate account, fake names too. So when I-35 male was 22, I got married to Kristen. We had our son, Sky 11 male, about a year into our marriage. Things were pretty going well, I felt like. I was working, Kristen was staying home with Sky. Things were tight, but I was able to buy us a home and provide a decent life. I was just getting started in IT, so the money was coming. Just had to be patient. Well, I come home one day and half the stuff is gone. So is Sky and Kristen. And a note on the counter. Kristen said that she wasn't happy with our lifestyle. That she wanted something that wasn't mediocre and wanted to live a good life. She had been seeing someone else and was moving in with him, and that I needed to get a lawyer. We go through a nasty divorce and get split custody. So I remarried a few years later to my current wife, Alana. She's amazing and the most supportive person ever. We have one daughter together. I started my own IT consulting business about 5 years ago and it's taken off, giving me, my wife, Sky, and Gwen a nice life. My ex has had a string of boyfriends and hasn't remarried. We don't talk at all besides details about Sky. So I got a call a week ago from Kristen. She was asking for a place to stay for a little bit. Her boyfriend was kicking her out, and she didn't have anywhere else to go. She wasn't going to be able to afford a safe place for her and Sky. She asked if she could live in our guest house until she could find a place to live. I basically told her no, that she didn't deserve my charity after walking out on me a decade ago, that she as a mother needs to clean her crap up and provide for him, and that if she wasn't going to be able to afford a safe place to live, then I want to revisit the custody agreement, because I don't want Sky to move into some sketchy apartment or some sketchy guy. But I told her I'd ask my wife and get back to her. My wife hates Kristen, but said she doesn't want Sky resenting us if something happens to his mom. But she really doesn't want my ex living here either and would prefer to revisit the custody agreement in order to give Sky some more stability. So we thought this is our chance to push for solo custody. My mom wants me to consider the message this sends to our son. My dad told me to remember the note on my counter 10 years ago and do think about what is best for my son in the long run. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Because some people have asked, yes, Sky loves his mom. She isn't a bad mom to him. We haven't asked his opinion because we are sure he would want her to move in. Edit. We don't want a temporary agreement because that would lead to more instability for Sky. This would be a final decision. Now for the top comments. This is messy, but I'm going with not stay hall for not allowing your wife to stay with you. She made her bed, and now she has to lie in it. The thing you haven't mentioned is how your son feels about all of this. It's time to have a very frank conversation with him and get his feelings on this matter. Your son should be priority number 1. I agree that the son should be priority number 1, but that doesn't mean ex-wife moving in, because certainly that's what Sky would want. Making your child your first priority doesn't automatically mean they get to make decisions that affect the entire family. His mom put herself in this situation. She needs to figure it out without making it OP's responsibility. While moving in would allow OP's ex to keep custody, it would make OP's family life a living hell, which in the end would be detrimental to Sky as well. People divorce precisely so their kids can have a peaceful environment and not be around two parents that can't stand each other. Changed from not the a-hole to a massive you're the a-hole based on OP's edits and responses. You don't have to completely kick Kristen to the curb by pushing for solo custody. You can help her in another way. The thing here is to do what's best for your son in the long run, and that for his mother to be secure. My suggestion is you offer to take your son full-time for maybe 6 months or so. This will give Kristen time to get a job and accommodations. Allow her to take him for the day on weekends, etc. Once she has life sorted out, custody goes back to how it is now. You're the a-hole. Going for sole custody or having your ex-wife move in are not your only options, and you know it. Not the a-hole for not wanting her to move in, but that doesn't mean that you are not being an a-hole. We go through a nasty divorce and get split custody. It was decided that it was in Sky's best interest to have both parents in his life, and until he is old enough to express a preference, that is what should happen where possible. Having Sky live with you full-time while his mother sorts herself out is a very different thing than going for sole custody for the rest of his childhood. You could tell your ex that you won't go for sole custody, but she needs to sign paperwork. That Sky will stay with you so that his situation is stable while she sorts herself out. You can both preferably joint explain to Sky that Mummy is having a difficult time at the moment, so he will live with you full-time until things are better for Mummy, and then you will go back to the previous arrangement. If he asks why Mummy can't come and live with you, which at 11 he probably won't, you explain that Mummy and Daddy respect each other, but don't get along well, so that is only going to make everyone miserable. The message that sends to your son is that people are responsible for their own actions and consequences of them, but we don't take advantage of other people's misfortune. Edit. OP has added this reply showing his motivations are not about his child's best interest, but what appears to be revenge. He replied just now, "No, my ex-wife treats him well. But I'd sooner give money to a slot machine than Kristen. She doesn't get child support, and I wouldn't even pay for a hotel room for her." Next story. Am I the a-hole for being openly hostile towards my sister and telling on her, thus potentially making her husband lose custody of his children? I'm not gonna be shy about this. My sister sucks. She is a horrible, self-centered person who thinks she's the main character. She is not only a horrible person, she is a step monster. She married this guy who is a freaking pushover 3 years ago. He has 2 children, 10 and 6. And my sister constantly complains about them, saying things like the 6-year-old is gross because he sips too loud or has stained clothing. For the love of God, he is 6. That's what a child is supposed to do. And she is so mean to the 10-year-old girl. She acts straight out jealous of her. I've caught her taunting her that Daddy loves my sister more than her. She is horrible. I've straight up called her out after trying to talk to her a million times. At Christmas, she was saying that it'd be nice to have the kids there. And I said, "Why? You hate them." This was when everything was almost over, and she had been bragging to her friends that her husband had spent more on her than on his daughter. A fight ensued. My parents reprimanded me, but my cousins took my side and called her out, noting every moment that they had witnessed her being horrible. Her husband obviously took her side and said that she was a wonderful stepmother, and the kids love her. To which I said that was a lie, as I had consoled them countless times after they were taunted by my sister. They left, and we haven't talked since. One day I was running errands and run into my step-nephews who were with their mother. I'd never met her, but honestly, she is wonderful. We decided to have some coffee. While the kids were playing, she asked me how her children behaved, etc. I said they were wonderful, and then I just spilled the beans on my sister. How awful she was, what I've heard her say to the kids, and the inaction of her ex-husband. By the end, she was horrified. She said the kids didn't like her, but she always chucked it up to my sister being the new woman in their father's life. She said the kids never really said anything even when she asked. I then told her I was very concerned for the children, as my sister had straight up told the 10-year-old that it would be better if she disappeared from her father's life. Their mother saw red and asked me if I'd be willing to testify. She said that this was unacceptable and she would be taking their father to court again. I said I would recount the events that I witnessed and could ask my cousins who witnessed a lot too. She was very grateful. I asked my cousins who were all willing to recount the events, but word got around to my parents, and by extension my sister. And they have been calling me the biggest a-hole on the planet who would betray family on a whim. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Those kids are clearly being mistreated by your sister, and clearly their well-being is being neglected by their father. I'm normally not a fan of people injecting themselves into someone else's relationship, but you're looking out for these children and there's nothing at all wrong with that. To be honest, I don't care about the relationship of her and her ketchup-smelling husband. I feel really, really bad for the kids. Exactly. This is all about the kids, and I will never knock someone who is standing up for kids. In my opinion, there's nothing lower than a person who mistreats children or animals. Not stay home. How awful for those poor children. You are absolutely doing the right thing in protecting them from your sister. You should be prepared for your family to take her side though. In my opinion, if your family is willing to side with her, good riddance. Hopefully, you can still have a relationship with the kids and their mother though. Good job. Only my parents. The rest of my family is as fed up with my sister as I am. She is not very popular these days. You're not a-hole. I don't like when people throw around the word narcissist around here, but your sister sounds like one. To be able to criticize children and be jealous of their relationship with their father? To tell them he loves her more than them? My mother is a narcissist. One of my earliest memories is her telling my sister and me, after our father had tucked us in and told us he loved us more than anything, that he didn't mean more than her, that he would always love her more. I'll never forget that confusing moment in my young life. That woman did damage to all of her children that she'll never take responsibility for, and that we'll be healing from for the rest of our lives. You offer these kids mother assistance to stop that from happening to her babies any longer. You did a hard thing. You will probably catch crap from family, but I think you did the right thing. You know what's funny? She once went to a psychologist who diagnosed her with NPD. She didn't like the diagnosis and went to a behavioral therapist who didn't diagnose her at all. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for making my cousin a laughingstock with the pressing of a button? So I have a cousin who's overly entitled. I'm talking the self-proclaimed gem of the family entitled. Never been told no for as long as I've known her. Anyhow, she knew I recently came into some money and figured she deserved a share. She calls my cell and basically demands a share. I laugh and tell her not a chance. I thought that would be the end of it, but no. She goes off on me big time, saying the most ridiculous entitled crap I've personally witnessed. That she'll get her parents to force me to give her money, how she'll get me disowned from our family, etc. But what she didn't know, I have an app on my phone which records all calls. I had some legal issue in the past regarding family, so I decided it's best to always have a recording of calls. The ones that are innocent I always delete. So I send a recording to a tech-savvy friend and ask him to install a small speaker onto a picture frame which is connected to a button. I get a picture of my cousin and place it in the frame. I put it up onto my apartment wall with a button beside it. So now anytime someone wants a laugh, they can just push the button and listen to her 4-5-second over-entitled outburst. It's kind of become the funniest thing, and every time people come over, they just have to push the button just to get a laugh. Cousin found out about it and basically berated me for making her the laughingstock of the family. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. That's genius. It belongs in one of the revenge subs. The cousin had it coming. Hope his retaliation could not have been better. Hilarious. Not the a-hole. I think this falls under the play stupid games win stupid prizes category. She at least brought the joy of laughter when guests pressed the button. I wouldn't mind getting a stupid prize if it's at the cousin's expense. Butch didn't know I have an app on my phone which records all calls. I had some legal issue in the past regarding family, so I decided it's best to always have a recording of calls. Not stay hole, but you should be really careful about this, because in 11 states it's illegal, and it would be horrible to get arrested for outing your cousin as a greedy a-hole. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my girlfriend take my son after his mom begged me to? My ex-wife and I got divorced 3 years ago. One of the reasons is that she was, still is, married to her job and not me. We have 50-50 custody of our 4-year-old son. I met my current girlfriend almost 2 years ago and we're planning on getting engaged on the end of 2022. My girlfriend adores my son and likes to spend time with him. She'd even let my ex drop my son off at our place because of work. She's a nurse. This occurred several times, and although my girlfriend never complained, I just couldn't help feel that my ex was taking advantage of my girlfriend's good nature and basically messing up our custody agreement. The other day, my girlfriend and I were home. My ex-wife called her asking if she could drop my son off for a few hours. My ex-wife was on speaker when she was speaking to my girlfriend on the phone, so I heard from a distance. I took the phone right before my girlfriend could say yes, and firmly told my ex-wife no, and to stop taking advantage of my girlfriend. She kept on about how she needed to cover this emergency shift right then, and couldn't find a replacement on such short notice. I said it wasn't mine and my girlfriend's fault, and that she should be ashamed of herself for using my girlfriend like that. My girlfriend kept staring as my ex said that she wasn't using her since she was my son's future stepmom. I said, well, that doesn't make her your personal babysitter for Pete's sake. But she said it's between her and my girlfriend. My girlfriend told me to let my ex-wife bring my son over, But if I let it happen again, this will set a precedent for my ex-wife to pull similar stunts in the future. My ex-wife begged, but I told her to get a babysitter. She said something about not finding one, but I hung up and handed the phone back to my girlfriend. My girlfriend looked upset with me and said that none of what I did was called for, that I should have let my ex-wife bring my son over. I asked if she was fine with being used as a babysitter, and she said that spending time with my son is not like babysitting. I let her know that always saying yes and not setting boundaries won't do her any good. She got more upset and said that I blew this out of proportion and ruined some great time with my son. She went upstairs and acted hurt by how I handled the situation, though I thought that I was helping her stand up for herself and set boundaries with those who try to take advantage of her. Am I the a-hole? I think there's something wrong. You don't seem to have given any thought to your child's well-being. Won't he be happier with you and girlfriend instead of with a sitter? You don't appear interested in seeing your son. Your ex is a medical professional, and we're in the midst of a pandemic. You seem more interested in exerting control over your ex, girlfriend, and son than actually building relationships. You're the a-hole. What less than full-time parent turns down time with her kid? I assume girlfriend is available, not working at this time, given she was going to say yes. Plus, it's not babysitting, it's step-parenting, even when it's not your time. Most of the time you hear people rightfully upset that their significant other is being a bad step-parent and not forming a bond. I hope he hit the jackpot and has a very nice girlfriend with a kind mothering nature, and he's complaining. You're the a-hole. I'm not sure your ex is married to her job. She's a nurse during a pandemic. And what kind of father refuses to see more of his child? And if you think your ex is married to her job, why did you agree to 50-50 custody? Why didn't you go for full custody and visitations for your ex? You made decisions for your girlfriend that just assumed she didn't know how to stand up for herself. You were rude to your ex and to your girlfriend in just one conversation. I get the feeling that you're going to be single for a long time. Him putting to work in inverted commas is just extra haunted. Does he think a nurse is lying about having a short notice emergency shift during a pandemic where health workers are stretched past all reasonable limits? Update. My aunt tried to have me arrested. I'm still in shock. Original story. 4 nights ago, I, 21 male, went over aunt's house to do some work in their garage around the back of the house. I literally didn't hear any of the things that went down. I had my earphones on and also loud machine. My cousin, 27 male, came home high off his butt, I guess, but he got crazy. He usually does when he is on something hard. They started fighting and he got violent and loud. My aunt's friend was there at the house too, so she saw everything. My cousin was hitting his own mom, and he locked her in the bathroom just for the heck of it. Around then, her friend took off to her house to call the cops. They got there, and by the time I was leaving the garage, they were already talking to my aunt. I only walked to the front because I saw the cop car outside. Then she freaking told the cops I did that to her. Then they were asking me questions. Meanwhile, my aunt is freaking crying and accusing me of getting violent. I'm panicking and stuff, so that starts making me seem guilty, and I'm messing up everything I say. Stuttering even. By the way, my cousin took off before they even came, so it wasn't like he was there anymore. These cops are straight up getting ready to take me in. The only thing that saved me was my aunt's friend who came back, and she confirmed it wasn't me, but my cousin instead. I don't know how much longer we were there with the cops, but it felt like forever. And by the time they left, my hands were still shaking. But man, I just felt the betrayal too from my aunt. She tried to have me arrested to cover her own craphead son just after I freaking beat her and locked her in the bathroom. I'm so mad. My mom is pissed off at her, so are her other sisters. But they're trying to set us up to talk again to clear things up. But what is there to clear up? She tried to ruin my life just because she messed up as a mother. My family's thinking we should make up, and I don't think they're gonna let this go. What should I do? Edit. My mom's the only one on my side, by the way. She supports if I never want to see my aunt again. The rest of my family is on wanting us to make up already and move on. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Do not forgive and do not forget. Make it clear that you're done with her, for good. Someone who will pull something like that is literally dangerous to you. Explain this to your mother, and make it very clear that it isn't something fixable, and lay it out that you feel like she's prioritizing someone who lied about something so serious over her victim. It might also be worth contacting the police and seeing if you can pursue her for filing a false report. Lucky my mom, the only one who says she could be dead to me if that's what I want. It's everyone else who are saying we should make up, since she was just panicking in the moment. Freaking bullcrap. This is them making you a list of who you no longer need to have in your life. Tell them to do one then. Add them to the dead to me list with your aunt. I cut every single person off that supported my falsely accusing ex without ever saying a word to them. And I can say it's made a single dent in my life. Only room for better people to take their place. Can you file charges for a false police report? I don't know how that works, since your friend was the one who called the cops and said what my cousin was doing. My aunt just lied about who. But lied by implicating you. I'm not sure how you would do that, but maybe someone else will know. If she had succeeded, she could have really ruined your life. I'd start by not volunteering to do work at your aunt's house anymore, and follow that up by open avoidance of her in the future. She can decline to prosecute her son for his actions, but attempting to push them onto you is a hard no. This is no contact territory. Whether he's charged or not is completely out of his mom's hands. The DA decides who to prosecute or not prosecute. They may decide to go ahead with it regardless of how she feels. He violated his parole anyways, so he's likely getting locked back up again regardless, I think. And now for the update. So, seems like my family decided to escalate things a few days ago. I was tricked into coming to my cousin's house, different cousin, to play video games, and my aunt was there with everyone else. They wanted us to talk privately, but I said to hell with that. They really tried to freaking ambush me into talking to her and I couldn't with them. The only thing I told my aunt is that she is dead to me, and that I've given myself time to think about this. And to not ever try to talk to me again because she could have wrecked my whole life with her lies. Job, school, everything. That crap would follow me forever. After I left, I told everybody else that was there I'm not talking to them either. And now they're getting a lot of crap from my mom and my grandma. I agree with you guys that now going no contact is the only way they'll leave me alone. At least till they never push it again. But I'm officially done with her. It stings still, to be honest. Never thought someone in my family would go that low to get me arrested over something I didn't do and ruin my whole life. Doesn't matter if it was to protect her own kid. He's a freaking piece of turd addict. And I'm glad he's getting locked up again anyway, since he violated his parole doing that. She did all of that for nothing in the end. I know some people kept saying to press charges on her for making a false police report or whatever it's called, but to be honest, I don't want to deal with that drama anymore. Don't want to waste my energy on a situation that already drained me so much. Still, thanks for the advice and for listening. I'm so sorry your piece of crap family did this to you. Now you know the ones that you can trust are your mom and grandma. Keep them close and ban everyone else. Can't believe it either. They're not the ones who almost got taken by the cops and have that on record to follow them around all their lives. I know, it's horrific. I don't know what race you are, but all I can think of is what if you had been black and the police hadn't believed your neighbor at all and arrested you anyway. You'd have ended up behind bars for something you didn't do. Happens all the time. If you're able to take legal action against the aunt for the false accusation, I would personally. Whatever you decide, I hope you take care and find a way to heal from this massive betrayal from your family. We're white, but trust me, I know high chances it would have been a totally different story. I'd just rather not get involved more at this point. I want to forget about it. As someone who had a false accusation chase her out of an entire career, I'm here to tell you you're doing the right thing. Thanks. You think it better that I'm just not part of that at all. Can't forgive her for what she tried to do to me. Consider suing her. Seriously. The false report she filed is a crime in and of itself, and could screw you over. I know you said you don't want to deal with it anymore, but your future is kind of on the line here. Think of it this way. Your aunt enables her addict son by doing what she does, including what she did to you, and you'll be enabling her behavior by not making sure she faces consequences and getting your record clean again. Not really. Cops already know it was my cousin and he's been arrested. Next story is titled, Update. My mom stole $6,000 from me, claiming I owe it to her. Original story. She's 50 female and I'm 17 female. She lost her job in March of this year and was behind on rent/bills. So without asking me or telling me, she just emptied my bank account. I'm a minor in the US. When I confronted her, she told me I owed it to her for her struggles raising me as a single parent. The thing is, I'm headed to college in a month, and that money was my living expense for the entire year. It was money I had earned through competitions and awards. Not to mention, she isn't contributing a penny towards my education. And after paying for tuition, I now no longer have any way to support myself without a loan. Not to mention I already contributed around $2,500 in rent over the past few months that she was laid off, and she has around $45,000 in her own savings account. She had no reason to withdraw from mine. Of course, she isn't paying me back. Never does, even though she claims she will. No one seems to be taking me seriously. I called family, the police station, etc., but everyone is just dismissing me for being overdramatic. I feel so hurt and betrayed by her actions. She has a history of being very verbally/physically abusive, but this is just unfathomable. I can't rationalize how my own mother could steal from me. How do I deal with these emotions? I'm so lost and I can't think. Added to Ed, I also can't set up my own account until I'm 18, so even if I do earn any money, I know exactly where it's going to go for the fall and most of the spring semester. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Well, when you haven't spoken to her in 10 years, she'll have no one to blame but herself. I'm guessing this is just the tip of the iceberg? Just a tip, but I think it's the straw that broke the camel's back. You need to lock down your credit ASAP. This exactly. My mother did pretty much the exact same thing. The minute I turned 18, she opened multiple credit cards with my social security number and racked up $6,000 in debt. I had to pay it off myself because I needed better credit for an apartment and she wouldn't do it fast enough. It's screwed. You're going to college, right? You may have to open your own student checking account. Go to your college to talk about this. Unfortunately, you also need to have your mails sent to you instead of the address you share with your mother. As a parent, I'm mortified that your mother did this to you. I'm so sorry. I looked at student checking accounts, but until I'm 18, my mom has to co-sign and can withdraw funds. I would recommend talking to your local bank manager as well. I opened my first checking account when I was 16, without a co-signer/adult, because my mom was similar, through US Bank. I had money put into a saving account growing up and never actually saw it. When I got my first job, I refused to use the same savings account. I didn't trust my mom having access to it. I think they can approve it at their own discretion. Thank you so much. This gives me hope. I'll visit my local Chase at US Bank tomorrow to see if they can make an exception. And now for the update. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who took the time to read my post and give me advice. There were too many comments to respond to, but I did read everyone, and my heart goes out to those who shared similar stories. A lot has happened in the past few days. The day after I posted, my mom broke the lock in my bedroom door and accused me of planning unspeakable things to her in conjunction with my professor. Which is not only false, but so laughably outlandish that I finally called my university as many here suggested. Their police department got me out the same day and put me in a temporary shelter for 2 days before moving me temporarily to university dorms. My mom did put up a fight while I was leaving and accused me of being a night worker. She claimed evidence of my illegal activities could be found on my computer, iPad, and phone, all currently in police custody. I did give the police permission to look through my devices and even gave them my passwords to everything, but the relentless daily interrogations have really worn me down. Thankfully, my university gave me a loaner laptop so I'm able to resume classes. I also found out that I won a scholarship I had applied for a while back and will be receiving a check worth $10,000 in the next week. Until I find permanent housing, I plan to put a hold on my mail so my mom can't get her hands on that money. Thank you so much to everyone who so graciously offered to donate, but it looks like I will now be able to afford all my tuition with a little left over. Of course, I still miss my mom. And it takes everything in me not to respond to the emails she sends me asking if I'm safe and telling me she loves me. I'm trying to stay strong through it all, but I know deep down I did the right thing.
There's still a lot that I have to figure out, like opening my bank account with no access to any official documents or a phone, but I'm hoping to iron out those kinks within the next month or so, and I'll post an update again when my situation is more stable. Now for the last story. My 33 female twin sister has cost me my best friend 3 times, and now I want her out of my life at my wedding. We often have dramas, but I'll tell you of 3. The first time I can remember her doing this was when we were 17. Me and my best friend Beth had just discovered that her father, the local cop, was cheating on his wife. We caught him red-handed, and Beth asked me not to say anything until she decided whether or not to tell her mother. Later that night, I was dropping off other friends after the drama and returning home. Beth was waiting for me at my house with my sister, but I didn't know, and my sister called me, not warning me she had me on speaker. My sister said that Beth's father, the cop, had just pulled her over and fined her for a fake traffic offense. I thought my sister was still in the car, but she was at home. The cop likely did this because of what we discovered. I told her, fine. If he wants to play that game, we will expose what we know. I don't know why I said it. I never would betray Beth, and I never intended to tell anyone. And my best friend was gutted, and eventually defriended me because of what I said. My sister never apologized for not telling me I was on speaker. She's done this several times since, but back to the main story. The second best friend I lost happened when we were 25. My best friend Kate and I were on a single girls trip because her long-term boyfriend of 8 years had recently dumped her, and I was trying to get away for a weekend to unwind. We went to a rodeo, and I had arranged to stay at my sister's on the way. We get to my sister's to discover that Kate's ex was at my sister's house. She lives in a town 4 hours away, and I was shocked. We had essentially walked into an ambush. I was horrified and offered to take Kate to a hotel instead, but she tried to brave the situation. My sister lied and said that she told me she had invited Kate's ex to stay, and I swear in my life that isn't true. It was an extremely awkward night, and we hid in the spare room all night. Kate, still heartbroken from the breakup, asked me if there was anything going on between her ex and my sister, and I swore, truthfully, that I had no idea they even talked, let alone that he would be here, but honestly said I did not believe anything was going on between them. Long story short, there was, and my sister ended up marrying him. The ordeal prompted my friend to literally move to the other side of the country. The most recent happened yesterday. At 33, my sister called me from a different town, asking me if rumors about my friend Lily cheating on her husband with a guy called Troy are true. The incident happened years ago. Yes, she did cheat, but it wasn't with Troy. It was with someone else. I kept Lily's secret for years, and before I responded to my sister's questions, I literally asked, "Am I on speaker? Who else can hear?" etc., etc. She told me she swore it would go no further. She just wanted to know because she had suspicions about Lily and her friend's husband. Despite my alarm bells, I told her Lily's secret, trusting it would stay between sisters. It didn't. My sister spread it, and now Lily and the guy she slept with have been attacking me. Believe me, I accept it. I'm guilt-ridden over my share of the blame in all of these stories. But I've also hit a point of not wanting my sister in my life, and not wanting her in my own wedding coming up. Kate and I are still close, and I want Kate to be my maid of honor, not my twin sister. This has broken my mother's heart, but I feel like I can't trust her, that she's toxic, and I don't want drama between her and Kate at my wedding. My mother just cried, and I don't know what to do. With enough time, I probably would get over it, but I've never been this serious before. Please tell me your thoughts. Why do you keep selling out your friends for her? Your sister did not cause you to lose your friend a third time. You did. You were untrustworthy and silly. But if you want to improve, stop blaming others and recognize your weakness. You know your sister is a vile snake, but you still keep getting trapped by her. The only incident that isn't your fault is when your sister got together with Kate's ex. Your sister didn't make you say what you said about Beth's dad. If you're going to be complicit in covering up your friend's affair, that means telling no one until after it has already gone public and they've split from the partner that they've cheated on. By all means, don't invite your sister to your wedding and cut her off. But you come across just as toxic and addicted to drama as she is. This comment is brutal, but absolutely spot on. Sorry, Opie. I think maybe the reason you don't want your sister in your life is because she holds up a mirror. 1. Learn to keep a secret. It's not a secret anymore if you tell someone else. 2. Pick your associations better. Your sister has a bad moral character. Why would you trust her after what she did to Kate? And why are you even friends with Lily, who is a cheater and out that burden on you to keep a secret? She can go deal with her own consequences.
Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay delivery and maternity expenses for the child? Plus updates. Original post. About 11 months ago, I, male 28, found out that my girlfriend, female 24, was cheating on me. We'd been together for 4 years and lived together for almost 2. I thought we had a great relationship. We got along well, regular weekly dates, traveled a lot together, and had tons of plans for our future together. We'd even talked about me proposing as soon as she got her finances in order. I found out she was sleeping with a guy who's friend with a best friend's boyfriend. I told her to kick rocks and that I never wanted to see her again. She went on and moved in with that best friend and her boyfriend. During that time, she never told her family that we broke up and no longer lived together. A few weeks after she moved out, she reached out and told me that she was pregnant and that she is certain that it's mine because the time she cheated they used protection. For context, my pop passed when I was a child, and I have very little memories of him, and as a result, my family struggles and it affected me for a long time. I told her when a kid is born and is confirmed as mine, I'll take care of everything. Until then, leave me alone. A few weeks later, we met up and she swore off everything that the baby is mine, and said I should help cover maternity and pregnancy stuffs. I told her keep receipts of everything you spend for pregnancy and maternity stuffs. After the child is born, if it's mine, I'll cut you a check to cover all expenses. If it's not, then we'll part ways. She agreed. She then proceeded to get a midwife and a doula for herself, both pretty expensive. She decided on a home birth. Comes time, baby came early and there were complications. She was rushed to the hospital for emergency C-section, and baby was kept in those wards where they keep newborns who can't survive alone. The day of birth, I went to see her and a nurse took me to see the baby. 2 weeks ago, she sent me receipts of everything and it's totaled over $40,000, and she asked for money to pay the doula and the midwife. I told her let's wait for DNA results. Well, turns out I'm not the father. I told her I'm sorry, but she's on her own. She cried and said she and the child are ruined if I don't step up and help them, and went on about how we can have a successful relationship together and raise the kid, and how she's matured and will be a good partner. I told her I have no interest raising someone else's child, and to call on the real father. Well, the guy is broke and is cashier at a local store. Now everyone in her family is trying to convince me to at least pay off the $40,000 before going our separate ways. I said no. Am I the a-hole for refusing to step up here? Now for the top comments before reading the mini updates. Not the a-hole. She cheated and the kid isn't yours. No responsibility towards her or the child. These people trying to convince you to drop $40,000 on a child that's not yours are a-holes. These people can give her the $40,000. And all that talk about getting back together was gonna last until the check cleared. Did she even stop banging the cashier, or is he on hold till the delivery is paid for? Also, she could have gotten a DNA test long before making any serious decisions. Sounds like she knew all along and was trying to railroad you into raising the child. Please run as fast and as far away from her as you can. See, I was thinking that too. The other thing that occurred to me was that she may have already had someone taking care of the expenses that she had arranged for pre-birth, and that she was going to pocket the $40,000 after the fact and use it for something else, because that doesn't seem out of line with her behavior so far. Not a-hole, she made decisions based on her assumptions. So far, she has shown she isn't interested in a real long-term relationship with you. She dug herself a hole and is now asking you to get her out of it. You are not responsible for her, nor her actions. Her family are a-holes for asking you. She is the one who caused the breakup. You were not living together when she incurred the debts, and they are for her pregnancy with another guy. If they are concerned, ask why they are not able to pay. Please do so publicly. I haven't said anything publicly, but I will if they continue. And thanks for your words.
Control the narrative or she will soon say you abandoned her and your son. The moment she cheated on you, she is no longer your responsibility. The moment you knew the kid is not yours, he is no longer your responsibility. Let people know about these facts. Still, there will be people telling you to be the better man. Just don't. Ignore them. She wasn't the better woman when she decided to sleep with another guy behind your back, so not your problem. Yes, she still tells people I'm the father. I've had to clarify to a few people already. You just need to make a public clarification at this point. Post those results where she can't keep slandering you. You don't have to give dirty details on the cheating unless you want, but 100% should post I am not the father of X's baby. X knows this because a paternity test was done. I will not be paying expenses for or parenting another man's child. Now for the updates. I had to lawyer up. She's still pushing the deadbeat dad narrative and painting me as the bad guy. Second update. Hey guys, since having to get a lawyer, I blocked her and everything in her circle. I shared with my family and friends the DNA results and they were all baffled by her brazenness. Some of them had a good laugh, especially my mom who never liked her much. My lawyer told her that she needed to fix what she's done and clear my name, or we'd sue her amongst other things. Last night, she made a post on Facebook telling everyone that she and I have not been together for nearly a year, and that the child isn't in fact mine. She made another post and tagged the guy who's supposedly the father. She messaged me on WhatsApp. I hadn't blocked her there. She apologized and said she was desperate and angry at herself for cheating, and wished on everything she never did and that I was the father, and said she hoped we can maybe be friends. I never answered her message and don't plan on it. Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling off my engagement because my fiancé hangs out with someone she had no self-control when it comes to sex? Original post. I was engaged to my girlfriend. We have been together for about 3 years. We took our friends to celebrate. We all got a bit drunk, and her friends started spilling some stuff about my girlfriend's past. The friend said that my girlfriend finally managed to control her hoe side, and she never could control herself around her friend. More specifically, her male friend. Let's call him Bob. So from what I heard about Bob, he used to hook up regularly with my girlfriend. After we got home, I asked more questions to my girlfriend about her controlling herself. I had to press her, and she confessed that she cheated on previous boyfriends with Bob, and Bob cheated with her. She confessed that her exes never found out. Bob and her still hang out from time to time. They were friends since college. And now I'm here, her boyfriend who was her fiancé, now having almost no trust towards her. I asked for the ring back and she insisted that nothing happened with Bob since we got together. But after learning all of this, I just don't believe her. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Admitted cheating on past boyfriends? Plural? With a guy she still hangs out with that she never mentioned while engaged to you? Do not listen to these people saying you're overreacting. Even if she didn't cheat on you, she hid this from you because obviously you would not approve. The trust is broken before you even said your vows. I used to have a friend like this, cheated on every single boyfriend. I asked her to please stop telling me. She started dating her husband soon after I asked. She probably cheated on him too. I debated telling him, but knew she'd twist it around to me being some crazy jealous friend. We aren't friends anymore. But I bet the friend didn't slip the info because she was drunk. The alcohol was a cover. She's trying to tell Opie. My son did exactly that. He got drunk and told his girlfriend about her best friend's boyfriend cheating on her. My son was also friends with a cheater, but after him witnessing the way he treated his loyal partner, decided it was the final straw that broke their friendship. The guy is a loser, like I said, final straw. Anyway, he knew it would get back to the right person and it did. She kicked him to the curb. Not a-hole. Seeing her past actions, you decided that you could no longer see her the same way nor could trust her. And in a relationship of 3 years, I believe this topic should have been brought up by her long ago, as it is an issue she had with her exes. As you mentioned, none of her exes found out, which means that she was good at hiding it. Hence, it gives you more reason to believe she might be cheating on you too. Good luck. And they dated for 3 years, met Bob multiple times and she never told him. Yeah, very trustworthy. Not only that, from the way the post was written, it sounded like the girlfriend hadn't been honest about her lack of self-control over her hoe side too. especially when it comes to hoeing for Bob. Like if she legit has such a poor control over herself when it comes to keeping her genitals safe and away from Bob, and by extension her issues with cheating on multiple past boyfriends, you'd think she'd work on herself more before getting into yet another relationship. Or at the very least, be honest with her current boyfriend about her control issues, or lack thereof, because one would think she'd learn from her past mistakes, right? Now for the update. I broke up with her. I told her that I need to see her phone if she even wants me to consider staying with her. I dug through her texts and messages. I found out that she messaged Bob about missing him about a year ago. Bob asked to meet up after talking about all the sex they used to have, and my girlfriend only turned him down because I had moved in with her at that point. Her message was, "Wish I could, but hope he moved in. Let you know if I get a chance though. I'm done." I packed my stuff and I'm moving in with my parents. My girlfriend apologized for those messages and insists nothing actually happened. Yeah, sure, only 'cause he couldn't. Thanks for all the support, by the way. Also, I swear to God, some of you all could catch your significant other butt naked with another person, but as long as you didn't actually see them do it, you'd be all like, well, there's no evidence they actually did it, so they clearly didn't cheat. Finally, someone who isn't an idiot. Good on you for losing that weight. Yes, he made a difficult decision, but it sounds like it was the right one for him. He deserves to be with someone who is fully committed to him and respects their relationship. My girlfriend apologized for those messages and insists nothing actually happened. This is hilarious. Like if a dude went to a bar and tried to hook up with random women, but they all turned him down and he tells his girlfriend, "But I never cheated." Your ex is dumb as a rock. If nothing else, that's a good reason to leave. I don't think she's dumb. I think she was just desperate at that point. I guess she was so used to getting away with cheating that she never actually thought of what to do if she actually got caught. I'm sorry, Opie. However, I'm glad you found out before you got married. And even though nothing happened, the intention was there. If she had replied differently, that she no longer wanted that life, and to cut Bob out of her life as she was in a happy relationship with you, it would be a start, but she didn't. Has your ex tried reaching out to you? Even though she doesn't end up with you, I hope she can learn from this and not carry on her cheating ways. Don't know. I've blocked her on everything that I could think of. Frankly, I don't want to talk to her again. I'm sad to say, but part of me wants to talk to her. Part of me thinks that maybe I misread something. Honestly, reading the comments here is helping me push these feelings away. That's normal. You loved her. You're going to mourn the loss of the relationship, even if it was justified. I'm sorry you're going through this. Trust me when I say there are better women out there for you. The situation isn't a reflection on you. It's a reflection of her as a person. Not the a-hole. You dodged a bullet. Cheating is about integrity and honesty. If your girlfriend had been pretty young and cheated on a past boyfriend once with Bob and then matured and learned better, that might be one thing. But she did it repeatedly with different boyfriends over a pretty long period of time. She showed her character. The fact that she was catchy texting Bob was just icing on a bad character cake. I'm happy we won't be reading another AITA post from you 2 years from now, talking about your now wife giving birth and a blood test making it clear you could not be the father and you asking what you do now. Last story. Am I the a-hole for calling out my girlfriend when she said she doesn't need no man on a social media post? I'm going to start this off by saying that I, 32 male, sincerely believe my girlfriend, 30 female, is a hardworking and intelligent woman who absolutely deserves the success she has achieved in her life. We have been together for 6 years. When I first met her, she wasn't struggling or anything like that, but she was working in a job that she hated. Around the time I met her, she wanted to go back to school to get her master's degree, but was struggling with a decision because she was worried about taking on more student debt. To keep a long story short, once our relationship got serious enough, I offered to move her in with me at no cost to her until she was able to complete her master's degree and land a job. We were able to make it work, and she landed what she considers a dream job shortly after graduating. That was about a year ago. A couple of days ago, she decided to make a long-winded social media post about how proud she is of herself for how far she's come so far in life. For the most part, it was just harmless fluff. But one part of her post that rubbed me the wrong way
was where she threw in a few sentences of how she was a self-made woman who, despite all struggles, managed to provide everything for herself, and that she's proud that she doesn't need to rely on a man. Not only were these statements factually incorrect, it felt like a slap in the face that she wanted to speak about her life without acknowledging me or my contributions to her life at all. While she studied to improve her life, I provided her with a place to live and food on the table so she wouldn't have to worry about it. Although she did work as a teaching assistant while studying, I encouraged her to use it as her fun money and for additional expenses. Although my expenses didn't increase dramatically by moving her in, we didn't move somewhere bigger/more expensive. I still made sacrifices on my end so that she could put herself through school as comfortably as possible. I commented directly on a post, "Did you forget about the boyfriend who paid the bills while you did your master's degree? Am I chopped liver?" As expected, I got absolutely slammed with replies and DMs, calling me every insult in the book. She herself was livid at the comment and called me an a-hole, among other things, for posting it, telling me that it was completely unnecessary and demanded an apology. I refused to apologize, but told her that I would retract the comment if she edited her post to at least get rid of the "I don't need no man" stuff that I felt was unnecessary. After arguing a bit back and forth, she packed a bag and went to stay with a friend because she needs some space. I'm conflicted about what to think about this situation myself. I know this is just social media, and I admit that I did write that comment as a knee-jerk reaction. But I'm also bothered that she decided to react this way instead of having a mature conversation about this. So, am I the a-hole? Her lie was called out, so she's embarrassed. You're still not the a-hole. I really don't get the people sending him angry messages. What can they possibly say? I mean, she got caught lying. What are they blasting him for? Not the a-hole, but if you stick to your guns here, she may leave, since she said she don't need a man. As long as you are good with that, then keep to the truth. She got what she needed, now she will move on. She's going to paint you as abusive or controlling, and she's a strong, independent woman who moved on from a toxic relationship. She got what she needed. Don't wait for her to dump you so she can feel empowered. Just end a relationship. Don't make it ugly. Don't accuse or fight her. If you must say your piece, just say you don't feel appreciated and don't trust her as an equal partner. That you both deserve the right partner and you wish her well. No fight, no scene. And if she later realizes she made a mistake, do not take her back. That's a big if. But if she does, let her learn the lesson for the next partner. And hopefully you've learned something valuable from this too. To be with someone who shares your values and sees relationships as us versus the problem. Yep, he should just change those locks and move on. Lol, that would be such a mic drop. When she tries to come home and her key doesn't work, just remind her that she is self-made and doesn't need a man. What she did really rubs me the wrong way, especially doubling down on her BS.